What's up, Leafs fans? Welcome back to Leafs Digest. Yesterday, we put out a video talking about how Auston Matthews tested positive for COVID. We would be back here breaking down all the news that came out of that situation, whether or not his PCR came back positive or negative, if he had a false positive from his rapid test, if we knew he would be playing or he wouldn't be playing in tomorrow's game against the Edmonton Oilers. And in fact, we got two pieces of news, almost three pieces of news regarding tomorrow's game against the Edmonton Oilers out of Toronto and Toronto media today. The first piece of news that broke earlier this morning before the Matthews stuff, before we get into that, is the news about Ondrej Kase going on day to day. He is out of the lineup with an injury. He tweaked something, according to David Alter of the Hockey News, before practice during his workout this morning. He tweaked something, wasn't able to practice, and he is now considered day to day. Now, although typically injuries like this aren't necessarily that concerning or aren't that long term, when it comes down to a guy like Ondrej Kase, it becomes more concerning. This guy had a lot of time off, so perhaps it is just something related to the fact that he wasn't working as hard over the last 18, 20, 25 days where he hasn't been in the gym as much, or he's been home seeing family, whatever it is. Now he's back to his full physical regimen, and it's just not fully there. Maybe it's a minor tweak, maybe it's precautionary, but the most concerning thing about all of this, the biggest warning sign that we get coming out of this news, is that Ondrej Kase is a guy who is injury prone. He's a guy who's dealt with many injuries in his career that's held him out for extended periods of time, and that's where the main concern of all of this comes from. It's not that he's tweaked something in a workout. It's that Ondrej Kase has tweaked something in a workout. This is a guy who's been playing incredibly well for the Leafs this year. He's on a great deal. He's a restricted free agent at the end of this year, so it's likely that the Leafs would be able to bring him back regardless of the term, the money, whatever. It looks like he's a guy that we'd even want to bring back, even if it did cost a little bit more money, because this season he's proven to be worth it. He's proven to be in the lineup. Now, he is a little bit more of a reckless guy. He has had the injury history, and as I alluded to, this could have just been a precautionary reason of, oh, maybe your arm doesn't feel that great because of something you did, or maybe something I don't know the specifics of it all, but having tweaked something during a workout, it doesn't sound too serious, and hopefully he's able to get back soon, but it is a little bit concerning when it's a guy with previous injury history that's held him out for extended periods of time, and it's been a guy who's actually missed a lot of hockey over the past few seasons with different kinds of injuries. Now, it is a little bit different than a head injury, which he's primarily dealt with, which has held him out. We've seen him block shots to the feet, to the legs, to the hands this season, and take weird hits and collisions into the boards and bounce back up and be okay and play in the next game. So who knows? Maybe he's back on the ice tomorrow and he plays tomorrow night. There's been no further news to this point, but when we get that information, we will be sure to update you as soon as we can. But as it stands right now, according to David Alter of the Hockey News, Kase did miss practice. He's going to be out day to day, recovering from this tweak from his workout before this morning's practice. That would be the Tuesday, January 4th morning practice. Now, here's where the bigger piece of information comes from. Josh and I brought the news out yesterday that Auston Matthews tested positive for COVID on his rapid test. He missed practice yesterday for precautionary reasons, and that rapid test was in response, or that positive rapid test, was in response to the Ottawa Senators having 3 players put in protocol after they played each other on Saturday night. Auston Matthews is a guy who has tested positive before. It was almost a year and a half ago, I guess, at this point, when he did test positive before the last season. That news went public. And this team just had an entire outbreak go through it, so we were wondering, okay, what's going on here? Maybe it's just hitting him now, which was all very possible. But when the news came out, now thinking back on it, it did seem a little bit interesting that immediately after the results came, it wasn't, oh, Auston Matthews test positive, Auston Matthews will be out. The news was Auston Matthews test positive, specifically on a rapid test, and then every single media member, every single person made a point of noting, we'll see what the results are tomorrow. As if everyone was expecting, okay, maybe this is a false positive. Maybe these rapid tests can't be trusted. And then Sheldon Keefe, when talking about the event, I guess, essentially today, had even said, yeah, this has happened before. We've seen this before. So at this point in time, Auston Matthews has not been ruled out for tomorrow's game against the Edmonton Oilers, which is great to see, especially considering Josh and I were talking about how we want to see our stars play. We want Matthews to have an opportunity to get back in there, continue to chase the Rocket Richard, and try to win it for the second straight season. When you're playing against the guy that you're chasing, and if you can go goal for goal or beat him in goals in that head-to-head matchup, it's a beautiful thing, and it helps you a long way chasing that Rocket Richard trophy, chasing the league lead in goal scoring. Now, above that, it is also great considering that this team would like to keep rolling. This team has been absolutely hot, and the other part of it, just a little bit of a dagger to the Edmonton Oilers, they have sucked lately. Straight up, no way around it, they have sucked. So, if the Leafs can continue to stomp on the Oilers, put them down, and have the Oilers, who everyone's looked at as this beautiful little baby who everyone wants to succeed and grow up and be perfect because they have Connor McDavid, the longer they continue to suck, the more it looks like, as in the Oilers, they may have to recoup, figure some things out here. And if McDavid is going to battle his way through in Edmonton and have to carry the team night in, night out, the newest piece of information coming out of Edmonton is going to hurt them even more, and that is Connor McDavid testing positive for COVID. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a situation like Matthews where it's a rapid test and the PCR comes back tomorrow and he's fine and he plays in the game. Who knows? But he did test positive this morning for COVID. He is probably going to have to miss tomorrow's game. We'll see. You never know. Matthews has not been ruled out, but he hasn't necessarily been deemed to be playing. So even if McDavid does test negative tomorrow on his PCR, who knows if he'll be into the lineup just based on how everything's been going, all these announcements, the way that they're worded. It's been very, very weird. But that is the second piece of information in the COVID part of this video, is that Connor McDavid did test positive. So although we get one star back into the lineup, and the one that us as Leafs fans are most happy about, the one that hockey fans are going to be disappointed about is that Connor McDavid will be missing, and we don't get to see a head-to-head stars matchup between McDavid, Draisaitl, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, and against Hyman again. So unfortunately that doesn't get to happen. Now, we'll see how everything goes. We'll see if McDavid does test positive again for tomorrow, and it is confirmed. But as this point right now, McDavid has tested positive. He missed practice today for precautionary reasons, as Auston Matthews did yesterday. Auston Matthews' PCR came back negative. Seems like he'd be good to go for tomorrow's game, but at this point he hasn't been set into the lineup. He has not been ruled out, so we'll see how that goes. Ondrej Kase is the final piece of information, and then he is day-to-day after tweaking something in his workout before practice this morning. So once we get more information on that, we will make sure to break it down here on this channel as well. Thank you guys for following along. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you hit that subscribe button, comment, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about this whole situation. We'd love to see it in the comments. We will see you guys soon. Next game tomorrow night against the Edmonton Oilers at 7 p.m. We'll see you guys then. Keep believing.